Hi everyone, my name is Kevin A. Young and I'm a UXUI designer. So for the last few years, I've been teaching UXUI at universities and educational organizations whilst working full-time as a designer. I really enjoy teaching, and every student I've mentored directly, some with, some without any relevant design experience, have all been successful in getting into the industry. So I want to share my insight and knowledge with everyone because I believe that with enough practice and dedication, anyone can become a successful UX/UI designer. Before I start diving into the technical side of UX/UI, I want to talk a little bit about approach and mentality towards design. This is always the first slide deck I show whenever I'm working with students or graduate designers, because I want people to get into the right mindset, and it's the most important aspect of being a good designer. And I get asked this question a lot, and to me it's all about practicing and perfecting your fundamentals. UX/UI is just like any other skills. Take drawing for example. Good artists are always practicing and developing their fundamentals, such as lighting, shadow, perspective, anatomy. Take Picasso, for example. He's one of the most influential artists, and his work is very abstract and it's very unique in style. And on the surface, it doesn't look like there's any fundamental in any of his work. But if we look at his earlier work, he'd already mastered all his fundamentals, creating lifelike oil painting by the time he was 12 years old. And really, you need to take this approach with UX/UI. You need to keep practicing your design skills on a daily basis, especially if you're still trying to get into the industry. Sometimes people come up to me and say, hey, I finished a UX/UI course 6 months ago, but I'm really struggling to get into the industry. And then when they show me their portfolio, they've only got 2 projects, both of which are from the course that they finished. That doesn't really help when you're displaying a very limited range of skills in your work. And my recommendation for anyone before they even start any UX/UI course, whether it's a university course or even just like a YouTube course, is to sign up to Daily UI. And what Daily UI does is every day they send you something to design. Now, it doesn't have to be UI related. For example, if today's task is to design a checkout screen, you can practice researching payment methods instead. Or tomorrow, if it's about a sign-up journey, you can create a user flow for that instead. And I would also advise you to practice everything, especially if it's something that you don't feel most confident in. That's even more of a reason for you to practice those aspects of design. And having really strong fundamentals leads me to my next point on how to be a good designer. When you're starting out, you want to be as flexible as possible so that it can help you open more doors. And as a great Bruce Lee once said, be water. You want to be formless, shapeless, and likewise, if a UX design role presents itself, you want to identify yourself as a UX designer or a UI designer. You want to have the wide range of skills to adapt yourself to those positions. And you also need to have a flexible way of delivering your work. Different organizations or teams have different ways of doing things. You want to be easy to work with and be a reliable team member. So hopefully somewhere down the line, you're rewatching this video in the future and you're a successful designer. But that doesn't mean that your mentality should change. Using myself as an example, whenever new design software comes out, I always spend time getting familiarized with them. The industry is really fast moving and you don't want to get left behind. Take Figma, for example. Everyone's using Figma nowadays. But 4 years ago, everybody was on Sketch. And 10 years ago, people were still using Illustrator to do UI work. And recently, Adobe stopped working on Adobe XD. Now, professionally, I never use Adobe XD to deliver any work, but I still took the time out to get familiarized with the software, because at the time I didn't know if a company that I work with further down the line might be using Adobe XD. So I want to be able to say that, yep, it is something that I can use. And in general, the tech industry just evolves really quickly, right? So if we think about how devices have evolved, smartphones are constantly changing shapes. So we had the notch, then a dot, now an island, folding phones, wearables, AR headsets. Each time something new comes out, a new set of fundamentals are established, and you want to familiarize yourself with them as soon as possible. Okay, so that was the slide that I always show people whenever I start working with them on approach and mentality towards UXUI. I hope you found that useful, and next we're going to start working on some technical side of UXUI.